Our today's topic is one-dimensional consolidation test. When a stress increase occurs due to the construction of foundation or other loads, soil layer becomes compressed and excess pore water pressure is generated. The water is squeezed out of the clay over a long period due to the low permeability of clay. Consolidation settlement is the result of volume change in saturated cohesive soils due to expulsion of the water that occupies the void space. Previously, you have performed the compaction test. The difference between compaction and consolidation is that compaction is instantaneous process and consolidation is time-dependent process. And consolidation is applicable for saturated clay soil only. Basically, in compaction, air voids decrease and in consolidation, water void decrease. In granular soil, like sandy soil has more voids and its permeability is high. So water in voids can dissipate easily and so the settlement for granular soil is instantaneous. But in clay soil, it has smaller void spaces and permeability of clay soil is very low. So water cannot dissipate easily. It takes time to dissipate the excess pore water pressure and it could take several years. So we will measure this phenomena in the laboratory using a consolidometer. The soil specimen is placed inside a metal ring with two porous stones, one at top and another at bottom. The specimens are usually 64 mm in diameter and 25 mm thick. The specimen is kept under water to make it saturated. The load at the specimen is applied through a lever arm and the compression is measured by displacement gauge reading. This is the consolidometer. We can also call it odometer. We have to extrude the soil sample from the sampler first and we have to trim it to shape it according to the inside diameter of the ring. We have to remove the extra portion of the soil above the ring and then place it in the odometer. And then fill the water reservoir with water until the specimen is completely covered and saturated. Then we have to apply the load. Each load is kept for 24 hours or until the 100% consolidation is occurred. After that, the load is usually doubled, which doubles the pressure on the specimen and the compression measured is continued. At the end of the test, the dry unit weight of the test specimen is determined. And you also have to unload it and take the data using the similar procedure. In summary, in this test, a soil specimen will be loaded vertically with total stress increments. Each stress will be kept on top of the soil specimen either for 24 hours or until 100% consolidation occurred. During the consolidation process, deformation dial readings are taken and deformation versus time graphs are plotted. The test can be conducted using two methods. Method A, the load increment duration is constant, which is usually 24 hours, and displacement reading are taken at regular interval, like at 15 second, 30 second, 1 minute, 2 minute, and so on. And then deformation versus time data is required for a minimum of 2 load increment. Using method B, load increments are applied after 100% consolidation for previous load increments. Use deformation versus logarithm of time plot to identify 100% consolidation. Then deformation versus time readings are needed for all load increments. This is the required data for calculation. You have to take the weight of the ring and soil before and after the test. Natural moisture content data is determined before testing and also after the completion of test you have to again measure the moisture content. Then specific gravity of the soil sample will also be determined according to experiment 2. This is the datasheet. Deformation dial reading has been recorded at regular interval. Then you have to plot deformation versus logarithm of time for different load increments. If 8 load increments have been used during testing, then there will be 8 graphs. For one load, the specimen deformation against log of time is shown here. You can calculate T50, which is the required time for 50% calculation from this graph. For that, First, you have to select one point on the curved portion and assume that the corresponding time is t2. Then you have to select t1 in a way that t1 is 1/4 of t2. Let the difference of the specimen deformation during time t2 to t1 is equal to x. Then you have to draw a horizontal line so that the vertical distance of this line with the previous line is equal to x. The deformation corresponding to this line is d0, that is the deformation at 0% consolidation. Now extend the straight line portion of primary and secondary consolidation to intersect at a point. The coordinate of this point is represented by d100, that is deformation at the end of 100% primary consolidation. Now the middle point of this red line is d50 and corresponding time is t50. In square root of time method, you have to plot deformation versus square root of time. Then in a plot of deformation against the square root of time is made for a single loading. Then you have to draw a line AB through early portion of the curve. Then draw a line AC such that OC equal to 1.15 OB. The intersection of AC and the consolidation curves gives the square root of time for 90% consolidation. From this data, you can also calculate the time required for 100% consolidation, and you can also calculate the time required for 50% consolidation from this graph also. For one single vertical load, you took the data for deformation at different time and plotted it. So at the end of one loading, you have the final dial reading of the specimen. This is the final dial reading. So you can calculate the total deformation for that loading. This is the total deformation, and then you have to calculate the strain, which is the deformation divided by the initial height. Then you have to calculate the void ratio using the equation. You know the initial height of the sample and you also know the height of the solid. So the height of the void is equal to the initial height minus the height of the soil solids. So you got the height of the void. Then you can calculate the void ratio using the equation, which is height of void divided by height of soil solid. Now you know all the data. You have to plot your E log P curve. E is in y-axis and P will be in x-axis, which is in log scale. From this curve, you have to determine the compression index Cc, recompression index Cr, and pre-consolidation pressure. Compression index Cc is the slope of the curved portion of the loading part, and Cr is the slope of the unloading part. This is the Cr. Now we will determine the pre-consolidation pressure using Casagrande method. By visual observation, establish a point at which the E log P plot has a minimum radius of curvature. Then draw a horizontal line from that point and a tangent. The two lines make an angle, and then draw a bisector of this line. Project the straight line portion of the E log P plot back to intersect the bisector. The abscissa of the point at which the two lines intersect is the pre-consolidation pressure. Generally, the graphical presentation of the pre-consolidation test includes deformation versus log time for different load, deformation versus square root of time for different load, and finally E log P curve. But for your today's experiment, you have to report only E log P curve showing pre-consolidation pressure, Cc and Cr. That means for your report, you have to plot E log P curve, then you have to calculate pre-consolidation pressure, Cc and Cr. You have to work on this data, then you have to plot your E log P curve. I have also uploaded this data in a Word file, so you can work on that data and plot your E log P curve, determine your Cc, Cr and pre-consolidation pressure. That's all for the consolidation test. If you have any question, please let us know. Thank you everyone.